And joining us this morning is Paul's brother, David. Thank you for being with us, as always. There has been some new developments. I want to get your thoughts. The ambassador to the U.S. was able to visit with your brother recently. What did they share about that meeting?
Excuse me. Yes, it's really great when the ambassador can go out there. That's the second U.S. ambassador who's been able to go out to Mordovia to visit Paul. We haven't heard anything about the visit yet. We expect that it was probably a good, frank conversation on both sides about Paul's situation. I think Paul's expectations about wanting to be coming home the next time an American comes home from Russia. But also the U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy has always done such a great job of delivering mail and delivering medicines, things that he can't get at the prison. So they are a lifeline to him, and I think he appreciates the effort that they make to get out there.
What's your read, David, on this meeting and the timing of it?
Oh, I don't think that there's any relation to the timing. It's been almost 3 months since the U.S. was last out in Mordovia. Consular officials went out there at the end of January. So it's about the time that we would expect a U.S. embassy visit by somebody. Obviously, having the ambassador go out there is a signal to the Kremlin and to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Russia. But from Paul's perspective, it's mostly just continued care and feeding.
And from your perspective, do you feel as though the White House and the Biden administration is prioritizing your brother's case?
Well, they say they have, and I think that that's the tricky part of it is that you can go by what people say, and we have heard a lot of things about Paul's being a priority and an absolute priority and that sort of thing, and we hope that that's true. Unfortunately, we haven't seen any actions to go along with that. We know that an offer was made by the U.S. government, a concession to the Kremlin some months ago, but since that offer has been made, there doesn't seem to have been any more movement on either side to try and come up with either a new concession or a different way to resolve the case.
Right. As we understand it, top U.S. officials say there is a serious proposal that has been presented to Moscow. Do you have any details of what that entails?
No, other than that, it seems to have been the same proposal that they made maybe last December. So again, not a whole lot of movement on that. And I think that we are hoping, and I'm sure Paul is hoping, that they will come up with some other creative strategies to try and shake the Kremlin loose, to have them come to the table and agree to a concession. And frankly, it may not be whatever the concession is that they've already that the U.S. has already offered.
David, how do you believe Russia's invasion of Ukraine has impacted your brother's case?
The invasion itself hasn't impacted the prison other than, well, Paul has said that a number of prisoners have gone off to fight in the war, so it's less crowded than it used to be. So I guess silver linings. We've mostly seen the impact from sanctions. So as the sanctions have bit into the Russian economy, there's less food going to the prisoners. There is less textiles going for the prisoners to work on at the labor camp. Paul has said that they now no longer get meat. They no longer get fresh fruits and vegetables. It sounds like it's becoming harder and worse, and really conditions that we hadn't anticipated it could deteriorate into.
How would you describe your brother's mental state right now?
Better in the last couple of weeks. I think, as Ms. Greiner said in her statement, you have to have routines. And I think when Mr. Gershkovich was arrested and detained in Moscow, that threw Paul off of his routines a little bit, and we were worried about his mental health. But he seems to have gone back to it. He gets up every morning and sings the national anthem. He has certain exercise routines that he goes through. He has comrades inside the prison that he can interact with. So I think to the extent that he can create those routines and stick to them and just go day to day, he will continue to survive.
And physically, how is his health? What sorts of issues has he undergone and faced?
For the most part, he seems very stabilized there. His weight has dropped. He lost about 20% of his weight when he went to the prison over time, but that has stabilized. We were able to pay for a private dentist to come out to see him. Dental treatment is no longer available at the prison if you can't afford a private dentist. If you have a problem with your teeth, they just extract the tooth. They don't do any additional care. So we're continuing to monitor those sorts of things. But for the most part, he seems all right.
Has he had teeth extracted?
No, fortunately, as I say, we've been able to get this private dentist out there who's been able to do cleanings and repairs and things, annual checkups, things that we take for granted outside of prisons, even in the U.S., but certainly in Russia. I think Paul is focused on having whatever care he can and not relying on the lack of care that's going on in the prison.
Right, and having lines of communication home is so important. So you mentioned part of the visit from the ambassador is to deliver mail to him. What did you all send to him in the form of a care package, so to speak?
We tend to just send letters. He has very specific requests as far as food to supplement what the diet is in the prison. So the U.S. Embassy will bring him canned or food in jars, protein, things like protein bars, over-the-counter medicine that he can't get at the prison. They don't give you any medications. So if he needs ibuprofen or something to help with colds, those are things that the consular folks bring. So we tend to stick to letters so that we don't get in the way of his package. If you send him a package by mistake, that will stop him from getting any other packages. He's only allowed 4 packages a year.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.